Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Lisa with Next Up is Lisa. Today I'm going to film my very first What's for Dinner, and in this one I'm making jerk shrimp, which is going with some leftover rice and beans that I have from a previous engagement earlier this weekend. And I'm using the wet jerk sauce that you can find at any grocery store. I'm sure that you can use dry, or you'll make your own if you like, but this is what was easily available to me and what I thought I'd use. I also use the mild because the mild has a nice amount of heat, so that I can eat this and enjoy my food and not worry about it being too hot. Here I'm just mixing everything up so that everything can be evenly distributed. I'm also going to add a little bit of avocado oil just to make sure that they don't dry out while I'm roasting them. Here I put everything on a parchment lined sheet pan, and I'm adding a little bit more avocado oil, and I'm going to roast it in the oven at 425 for 15 to 20 minutes. And here's the final outcome that I paired with the rice and beans and some green beans, and it was a delicious meal. Today I am going to continue my What's for Dinner video, and today I'm going to make egg roll in a bowl. It should take about 15 minutes to prep and 15 minutes to cook. This is one of those quick low carb meals that is extremely tasty. So I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil to my frying pan, and that's what I'm doing here. When you make this, you can use pork, beef, or turkey. I choose turkey, so I'm adding my ground turkey to the pan. And I'm going to cook this on a medium-high heat and break up the meat until it is nicely cooked through and a little crispy. I'm adding a little pepper and no salt at this point because this recipe has a lot of soy sauce, and even though I use low sodium soy sauce, I do not want the dish to be salty. So as you know, egg rolls have cabbage in it, and the one ingredient that makes this very easy is substituting a bag of classic coleslaw. I'm going to add this bag, but before I do that, I'm going to slice up a small onion and get that ready to go. So you can see that my meat has browned really well and is a little crispy, which is recommended. I'm adding the onion and a big tablespoon of garlic, and I'm going to also add a little bit of ginger. Actually, not a little bit, a tablespoon of ginger. And I'm going to mix that in and let that start not simmering, but cooking with the meat, so that those things can start to cook down and be really incorporated into the meat and add a lot of flavor. And here's the cabbage. I'm adding that to the pan, and I'm going to just let that sit there for a minute, because as it hits the heat, it will begin to wilt and make it easier for me to mix into the meat mixture. Here's the sauce that I'm making. I'm going to leave the ingredients for the sauce in the description box, but that's soy sauce, some chili paste, as well as some sesame oil, and you'll see in just a second I'm going to add some rice wine vinegar. So you can see how everything is wilted down, and I can mix things up. I decided I wanted to add a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of onion powder. You see that right there? My smoke detector went off. So I had to go and fan so that it could stop making all that noise. And now I'm back mixing everything together. And I'm going to add the sauce to the pan. I'm going to mix everything up and make sure that everything is well distributed, and this is looking really good. You can also finish this by adding some sesame seeds. I did check my cabinet and I didn't have any. Or you could add some scallions, and I also didn't have those either. So I'm going to go ahead and plate this up and taste. Let's see what we're working with. That's pretty doggone good. Hi everybody, for my next what's for dinner, I'm going to do smothered pork chops. This is a request from the family, so hang around. So here are my pork chops. I have washed them, I have trimmed them of extra fat, and I seasoned with a Creole or Cajun seasoning, salt, and garlic powder and garlic powder and onion powder, and I dredged them in flour with a little bit of cornstarch to make them pretty crispy. I have 4 pork chops, so I'm adding 2 at a time to the pan and going to cook these until they are cooked through. Okay, pork chops are finished. I'm going to take them out. They actually look really pretty, and they were very crispy. There's a lot of grease in the bottom of this pan. I'm going to pour some of it off. And now I'm adding the rest of the flour that I had dredged the pork chops in, and I'm going to use this to make my gravy. This is a little bit of a process. I'm going to turn the stove down to a medium low, and I'm going to just show you different parts of the gravy process where it actually changes colors. And see, this is the final part where it actually looks like peanut butter, and I'm going to add some chicken broth to this. Don't worry, it's going to bubble up. Just keep going and it's going to be great. Just add the amount of chicken broth you want to get to the consistency of the gravy that you want. Don't forget, you can always taste your gravy and see if you need to add any salt, pepper, or any other seasonings. Fortunately, I didn't need to add any, but I like to have peppers and onions. So I ran to the refrigerator and saw that these had been pre-cut, and decided to use those. I normally would have cut mine a little thinner. I then thought I needed a little more gravy, and so I decided to add the brown gravy mix to this to help stretch my gravy a little bit more. I keep those brown gravy packs on hand just for these kind of occasions, and I'm sliding the pork chops into the gravy. I'm going to cover them and turn it down and let it simmer 20-30 minutes. The veggie is broccoli tonight, and I'm going to do with avocado oil, salt, pepper, and yes, they wanted boxed macaroni and cheese to go with the dinner. This ends my what's for dinner video, and I hope that you liked it. Please comment, subscribe, and come back and visit me for my next what's for dinner. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.